Our environment is getting progressively degraded because of overexploitation of natural resources. Population pressure, indiscriminate tree felling, overgrazing, unsound agricultural practices, all these and other factors contribute towards this degradation. In a degraded landscape with little or no tree cover and subsequently little soil cover, the rainwater is not able to percolate into the ground and flows away to the streams. Along with this water, we lose rich topsoil, which is essential for any vegetation to grow. It is a vicious cycle. No topsoil means no vegetation, which leads to an increased runoff of water and a further erosion of topsoil.
A vertical section cutting through the soil showing the different layers of the soil is called a soil profile. Soil profile can be seen by looking at the sides of a recently dug trench or while digging a well or a foundation of a building. Soil has three different layers: topsoil, subsoil and substratum. Topsoil. It is the most useful part of the soil. It is dark in color because it is rich in minerals and humus. Plant roots also grow in the topsoil. Many living things like insects, worms, bacteria and rodents live in the topsoil. It contains the decayed remains of dead plants and animals which forms humus. Humus makes the topsoil very fertile. Subsoil. The layer of soil just below the topsoil is called subsoil. It is lighter in color and has little humus. It is made up of slightly bigger rock particles which makes it harder and more compact. It contains very little living organisms. Substratum. The layer of soil just below the subsoil is called the substratum. It mainly consists of partially broken or weathered rocks. These rocks keep breaking from the bedrock which is just below the substratum. It is this bedrock that has produced soil over a long period of time. There are some important climatic factors which affect the soil profile and bring changes in the soil.
The top 6 inches of soil are the most fertile. Most of the soil nutrients are present in that 6-inch layer. The topsoil is eroded every year with flowing water. We have to prevent that. Similarly, the rainwater also flows away, which needs to be stopped. The speed of flowing water has to be reduced so that it does not wash away the topsoil. So, our work basically involves water and soil conservation. It's like a bank. Only if we have money in the bank can we withdraw it. Similarly, the bank of our watershed is our hills. If there are enough trees, grasses and different kinds of treatments, then the hills can conserve or store water inside them. If there is enough shade, then there is less evaporation. The rainwater will not fall directly on the soil, but rather its impact will be cushioned by the vegetative cover. Otherwise, the water would carry away the loose topsoil with its force. So we don't have to just stop the water, but we also have to cover it. That is, to protect it from direct sunlight, rainfall and animals.
For centuries, human beings have settled along rivers or catchment areas, which form lakes and provide a regular supply of water to them. The watershed of a particular river or stream is defined as that area which collects the rainwater and drains it through gullies and nalas to a point on that river or stream. It may be small, consisting of a few hectares, or huge, covering several thousands and millions of hectares. What is watershed management? An attempt at conservation, regeneration, and the judicious use of all the resources, natural like land, water, plants, animals, and human, within a particular watershed can be referred to as watershed management. The main objective behind watershed development treatments is to reduce the velocity of the fast-flowing water and to increase the time of concentration, which will allow the water to percolate and recharge the subsurface aquifers.
Now, what is an aquifer? This is the surface of the earth. The small blue patch there is a lake or a stream. This may be an opening to an underground layer of water-bearing permeable rock fractures, or unconsolidated materials like gravel, sand or silt, from which water can be extracted using a water well. The aquifer lies along a layer or between two layers of aquicludes, which are solid, impermeable areas. An artesian aquifer is confined between impermeable rocks or clay, which causes a positive pressure. This causes the water level in a well to rise to a point where hydrostatic equilibrium has been reached. Not all the aquifers are artesian, because the water table must reach the surface. That does not happen in the case of underground groundwater. The recharging of aquifers happens when the water table at its recharge zone is at a higher elevation than the head of the well. Here, at this point, if we sink a well of say 376 feet, water will automatically gush out due to the positive pressure. If we increase the height of the well to 876 feet, that is the height of the water table, the flow will stop. In the dry season, there is huge loss due to evaporation, which makes the water table of the aquifer to come down. When the water table sinks below the height of the well, that situation also ceases the flow. During the rains, the aquifer gets recharged, water table rises, and the artesian wells start working again.
The watershed development program has to be undertaken from the topmost point, from where the rainwater, after falling, starts flowing downwards. This point is called the ridge. The watershed work has to start from the ridge and progress downwards towards the valley. There are reasons for this. Firstly, soil conservation is essential for watershed development. If only water storage structures are built, the purpose of halting soil erosion is defeated. The soil gets washed away and collects in these structures. Due to this, silt gets deposited over the years and the structure gets filled with soil. This leads to a reduction in its capacity to store water. Thus, neither soil nor water is conserved. Secondly, if there are no barriers at the ridge, the water will flow down at such a high velocity that it will wash away the water storage structures below. Or, the structures will need to be strong enough to withstand this velocity. This means an additional expenditure. Watershed treatments are to be done along contour lines. These are the lines joining the points that are at the same altitude or height. This ensures that the water that collects in the treated area remains at a uniform level, leading to even moisture throughout the land. It also reduces the chances of the structure breaking, as the water pressure at all points on the treatment is the same. From the top of the hill downwards, a series of structures is made that would ensure step-by-step slowing down of the fast-flowing water until a part of it is finally stopped. This would result in a control of erosion, a retention of soil fertility, better soil moisture regimes, infiltration and groundwater recharge.